Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome into the Fly for Fun show with Captain Ray Kelly and JohnnieDroneFlyer. And today is May the 19th, of course, Wednesday. And Ray, we got a great show tonight. I'm excited. I had a great day today, and I'll tell you about that a little bit later. And it's a great day for two reasons. We got Kelly Shores and Doc Murdoc on tonight, and they're a wealth of knowledge, and it's going to be a fun show. And I just want to remind everybody about our we have a Facebook page. You can join us at the Fly for Fun show there. We'll do our part 107 questions for a T-shirt that we keep up with for the month, and I think it's a Pile of Sharks hanger and Matt Condoff in the running so far for that. And what else? We got a couple birthday shout outs. Who else? Who had a birthday? Rose Burns and Marcus Crawford had birthdays this week.
Happy birthday to you both.
Yeah, we'll do some Fly for Fun stickers there. You get to pick a number from 1 to 50. So yeah, we got a lot going on. Ray, how was your week?
Yeah, no, I had a good week. Another good week. Seems like I always say that.
You do, Ray. But hey, you're retired, so you can say that.
Yeah, no. I ended up flying with John Olson. He took me to a spot out east in Long Island, and then I ended up flying on Saturday morning with Charlie Mafia, Drone Psych.
Yeah,
and, yeah. We went to a world famous location, and a lot of people probably don't know about the Coney Island parachute jump, but it's very well known here in New York, and it was a big attraction. So we decided to fly it. Charlie flew it already, and I was so glad that I got to fly it with them, because it is really amazing to be flying right in there, and you're on the beach. There's a boardwalk. We went early. We went at sunrise. Charlie actually did a live stream while he was flying, but I sent my Air 2S up, and I got some great shots of it. I think you have a little bit of the video.
Yeah, let me see if we can share just a little bit of it.
Sure, a little bit. And it was just fun. And again, you know me, I like flying with other guys, and we had a great time. And I'm a little nervous when I fly, especially at a new location.
I think it's protocol.
Here it is.
The person who invites you take off first. But he's waiting for the sunrise. I think I'm just going to take off.
And Ray, y'all got up pretty early to go there. You did.
Yeah, I got up at
he's going live.
I was on the road at 3:50 a.m.
All right. There we go. There goes the Air 2S.
Now, Ray, is that ride is not operational anymore, or is it?
Look at it. And look at the parachute jump.
For 5 years, since the 70s. But it's an iconic tower.
The parachute jumping is a company-owned ride and a landmark in the New York City borough of Brooklyn, along the Riedelman Boardwalk, Coney Island. Situated in Steeplechase Plaza near the B&B Carousel, the structure.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, Ray.
I mean, 250 feet tall, and it was just great. And it was a beautiful sunrise that morning too.
Yeah, and you get to fly with people, which I don't do a lot of that, but yeah, and I know you're flying. I think I saw Lawrence was on a little bit earlier, and I think you're gonna fly with Lawrence Friday, right?
Yeah, that's the plan. They just got to figure out where, and they're gonna let me know, and I'll be going in with those guys. Those guys.
Yeah, you'll be one of those guys. You'll be able to say it.
Yeah, and I'm wearing my Ready Set Drone shirt tonight too. Because we got a special guest, Kelly Shores, and I'm so glad he accepted our invitation to come on the show. Johnny.
Yeah, it's a privilege to have Kelly. He's well known through the community, and it's going to be fun. And matter of fact, Ray, if why don't you go ahead and introduce him? We'll get Kelly in here. He's in the back room eating some shrimp and crawfish or whatever else he can get. He's in a prop room. We don't have a green room. We have a prop room, but we might only have some props back there.
Well, I'll tell you, Johnny, yeah, I've been watching Kelly Shores, Ready Set Drone for many years now. I started flying in 2017, and Kelly's YouTube channel was one of the ones that I watched to learn how to fly a drone, along with Ken Herron. You know, I got to throw him in too. But I said, man, I want to be like him. You know, he's a role model. You know what I mean? And he's from Texas, Austin, Texas, and he's one of the best drone pilots out there today. So why don't we bring him in? And
Hey,
Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, look what I made while you guys were doing the intro. I got my T-shirt here. It actually looks kind of cool.
I like that. Hey.
Got the stickers. I'm glad.
I only peeled half of it because I'm going to stick it on my laptop, but I thought it.
Hey,
would
we'll get you some more. Appreciate it.
Hey,
Kelly,
thank you guys for the
pleasure
very
having
kind
you.
introduction.
And I know we talked a little bit before, but hey, you know, I know you're on, and you know, everybody watches and listens, and you know, it's what we kind of give our guests. It's a chance to talk about yourself. So you know, we want to know all about Kelly, even the bad.
All right. I'll tell you everything there is to know in 2 minutes or less. First of all, even though it's a girl's name, I was born on Kelly Air Force Base, so I was named after an Air Force base. My dad was in the Air Force. We lived in England when I was little. We lived in Darmstadt, Germany. We lived in Kansas for a while, both Goodland and Kansas City. That was actually before he went in the Air Force. And my sister was born in Germany. And then my dad got out of the Air Force, and Kelly Air Force Base is in San Antonio. That's where I was born. But when my dad got out, we moved to Houston. He got into oil. So for the most part, I grew up in the Houston area, Houston, Texas. And as I was telling Johnny before we started, one of my dad's best friends was from Louisiana, so I can always spot a Cajun accent. And I do love some shrimp. I do love some the gumbo and the big boil. You know, when they do the boil with the shrimp and the big pot and you just pour it all out on the table.
Yep.
Potatoes and corn and all that stuff.
We did that. We did it Sunday. We had a shrimp boil actually. So.
That is the best. I had been to New Orleans probably 10 times in my life because I love going there. And I'll tell you, if anybody is going to New Orleans, the one place I have not been, but I really want to go is the World War II Museum there. Have you been to that, Johnny?
I have not. You know, my son-in-law, we talked about going. Of course, it was closed for a good time. Now it's reopened, but yeah, they say it's one of the best in the United States.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. And what a great place. You know, go to New Orleans and go enjoy the World War II Museum. I have to say, this is kind of cheesy, but the thing that got me into World War II was Band of Brothers. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that, but
absolutely,
man, it was such an amazing program. And then of course all these other, like, have either of you seen the movie? What is the one where they're crossing the channel in a private boat? Dunkirk.
Yeah, movie too. Yeah.
Oh man, that was amazing too. So anyway.
But Kelly, tell us, and I know the viewers want to know, how did you get involved with drones?
Oh, well, so I actually was doing a video for a 50-acre piece of property on Lake Travis, which is the big lake here in, the Austin area. 50 acres. This guy had bought it years ago. He was dividing it to sell it as subdivisions. Or subdividing it to sell. Really, I think he was only selling like 5 lots, like 5 10-acre lots or something, millions and millions of dollars. And so I was shooting video for it and had heard about drones as a way to capture the video. Found a guy here in Austin, hired him to come out and do the drone. He had a home-built drone at the time. He was flying with a gimbal and with Fat Sharks and an analog FPV system, because at the time there was no AccuSync or Lightbridge. None of that stuff existed. The Phantom wasn't even out. This was probably 2012 or so. And man, he came out. It was a hexacopter, six blades. It had, like I said, a gimbal. It had Fat Sharks, and he let me wear the goggles while he was flying. The footage was so amazing. It looked so fantastic, and the client was so happy with the work. Not just we did a lot of cool stuff. We had a Steadicam, we had a golf cart where we were doing Steadicam shots. We did time lapses, but the drone stuff just really capped it off.
Sounds like something Doc would have built.
Right then, yeah. I mean, this was back in the days before you really could buy a ready to fly kit, and
Sure.
I was just like blown away. This guy was super nice. He was a day trader by day, and then did drones as a hobby. And we got to be friends. And then when the Phantom came out, I got one. The first Phantom. I still have my Phantom 1, by the way.
Okay.
I really should do something with it because it's sitting in my garage. But and I remember getting that thing and being blown away by that. And then I got a Phantom 2, and then I got a Solo, and then I got, just every single drone. I just got bit by the bug,
Right.
And then
It's not hard.
I know it's been more than 2 minutes too, but
Oh no, you got. Hey, we'll.
the videos. I made my first video was about a tiny little drone called the Proto X. It was one of those little microscope, like about, I don't know, 2 inches by 2 inches. And it was made by Estes, and it was a line of sight drone. I decided to make a video about it just for fun. And it didn't really do much, but then I kept making a couple of videos, and then I got a 3DR Solo, and I made an unboxing and review video of it. And that one got like 100 views, which at that point I hadn't had 100 views on anything. And that's when I started thinking, okay, not many people are making drone videos yet. And so I started doing it, and it was successful for a while. And, here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I tell you, you have a very, very successful channel. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. It really it's so informative. And I think that's what makes some drone shows. I say they don't talk about drones, but hey, yours is, it's all about the drones. And I think
if you got drone in the title, you pretty much, Ray Kelly can do whatever he wants because his channel's called Adventures, right? So as long as there's an adventure, but JohnnieDroneFlyer and Ready Set Drone, we got to do drones.
Yeah. Well, I did do one food video, and actually got more views than ever.
Oh, did you really? Okay. Well, I'll try it. Maybe I'll do a food video.
But
little Cajun cooking.
Yeah.
That's it,
I'll tell you what, we're gonna Kelly, if you hold up one sec, we're gonna pop this first question in that we do, and then we'll let you talk some more. And a person without well, if you can read it.
I'm reading. Okay.
Yep.
Remote pilot. Hold on. Do you want me to answer this?
No, not yet. They gonna put their hands in the chat.
I think I know the answer, but I'll wait.
Yeah.
And then we'll go on. What they do with that. Yeah, I think it's Brad Austin actually got it.
Yeah, Brad's got it. Yeah, congratulations, Brad.
Yep, as long as you got a remote pilot or pilot in command, someone who has a Part 107, they don't have to be the one flying it.
Right.
Someone's in charge and following the rules. And
that's a rule. It kind of, when you think about it, I know you can think about it two ways. That doesn't make sense, or it makes a lot of sense. So especially if you have somebody that's got a little knowledge of the drone. But,
think about these guys doing all this crazy FPV stuff. I say crazy, I mean really cool stuff where they're doing. It's a very specialized way of flying.
Doc's raising his hand in the back room.
And so somebody's Doc. I mean, there you go. But if you have somebody who's got that skill but doesn't have a Part 107, then having a Part 107, a remote pilot in command that can oversee the shoot and make sure everything is safe, but have the pilot do what they do well, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kelly, you have a very successful event that you run every year.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that at all?
Yeah, we could talk about it. I mean, you're mostly going to hear frustration from me right now because I still don't have a venue locked down. I had really hoped to have one. I've come close a couple times. It's just coming down to finding a place that's big enough, that is affordable, that has a good space to fly. And I was telling you guys before we got on, I had a place in mind, and they came back with a pretty crazy, outrageous number for the cost. So I said, no, thank you. And then there's another place actually near there. It's up in Cedar Park, and it is actually called the Cedar Park Center. And it's a big kind of concert venue. The hockey team plays there, all that stuff. They have meeting space, but their meeting space is actually pretty small. And so, and by small, I mean, max of about 80 people that we could have there. And so I'm really trying to, and as I said, and I would love to know in the chat what people think. It is only available on weekdays. And so, you know, I was asking Ray and Johnny before the show if that would inhibit them from coming, and they said no. I'd be curious, folks in the chat, if coming on a weekday to the event. I mean, let's say the event was on a Thursday or a Tuesday or something like that. You know, you could make the weekend out of it after or before, of course, but not being on a Friday or a Saturday, does that impede people? So
yeah,
anyway,
if you want to chat, y'all go ahead and please respond. You know, that's a big thing. And I know Kelly, we were talking before the show, venues are a little bit harder to find, and some of them still not open, and prices are kind of high because they probably will close, and they're really for the future.
Yeah,
so
I don't always blame them for that because everybody's got to make a living on that. But having a venue that that has enough space for, I was really hoping for 150 people, maybe 200 people this year, but we'll have to see. But it's going to be in the fall. You know, I still have time. I've always tried to get the announcement made before we get out into summer, because everybody's going on vacation, and that way people can.
With you.
What's that?
Marcus agrees with you. Look at the
yeah. I mean, so there you go, Idaho. I would totally love to see. I think people would make it work if they wanted to come out during the week, but I find sometimes so
people that they try to incorporate part of the weekend in with it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be on the weekend, you know.
Yeah. So Steve Carpenter. I'm just looking through some of the other comments there, but ultimately, I do think that if you have enough notice, and you know, you got to take time off from work and make travel arrangements, whether you're going to drive or fly or anything like that. I think that people can make it happen. You know, that people would come out.
Michael, right? Yeah. I know Michael would be there. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. He's up in Dallas, so he's not that far. He's come down a few times for a couple of meetups, and actually just got to meet up with Harley FPV. We flew together last weekend, as well as Chris Waters from Sunrise Water Media.
That was an interesting little couple of videos Chris made.
No, Chris is a talented dude. I will tell you. Every time he makes something, I'm always like just on the edge of my seat, because he makes it almost like a little mini movie.
Yeah,
it was great. I know getting an autograph, it was pretty neat, the direction it went to. So he stole your drone.
Yeah. No, he you know, he does all the music for those things. It's all original music he does on his own too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Kelly, another question that we ask all our guests. If you had one drone, or what is your favorite drone? If you want to share that.
It changes. It changes from day to day. Really week to week. I mean, right now, if there's one that I can, I'll go grab it. It's right behind me.
And it's always good. It's always good when the people can grab the drones, you know. I got it right here, Johnny. Here's my fan.
I don't have a drone handy.
my favorite to fly is this guy right here. This thing is a 6S. It's got a full air unit in it. It's made by Newbie Drones. It's called the Vivid, and it's just so fast and so much fun to fly. That's like, if I could just go out and only fly one drone, that would be the one. But if I'm gonna do cinematic stuff or aerial photography or something like that, I'm really digging the 2S. I mean, the 2S is just so compact, and camera is every bit as good as the Evo. You know, it's got the 5K. Now the Evo is 6K, but does that really matter at that point? You know, nobody's watching videos in 6K really.
It's funny you say that. I was talking to Ron Brown today, and he's like, man, they got 4K, 8K TV, 6K. It's like, man, how much better is all this stuff gonna get, and what can you do on your processing and see it, you know?
Yeah, well, and even bandwidth, right? I mean, who has internet that can stream? You'd have to have fiber to get a good 8K stream coming in, and can you even really see the difference? I mean,
right.
I'll let you guys in on a little secret. Here's something that most viewers don't know about me. You ready for this? I actually wear glasses.
Oh, okay. Very people English looking.
Hey,
most people Yeah, no, I figured you guys are wearing glasses, so now I might be able to appreciate an 8K or a 6K image. But like this, I can't tell the difference.
Okay. See that? We just learned something new about Kelly.
Yeah. No, actually, I've been wearing them more because I find that if I wear them when I'm working, sometimes I'll get a little headache from looking at the screen too long. But if I wear them, I don't.
I try not to wear them sometimes, but I listen. I need them to read, and it's like right now, even looking at my computer screen, I have another monitor back here, bigger, 27 inch.
Right, Kelly. You're much better looking with the glasses on.
Yeah. Lenses, they're progressive lenses.
These are progressive.
Reach through the bottom, and then a certain distance you look through the middle, and then distance.
Yep.
Up there.
Yeah, these are the same.
So, Kelly, we got quite a crowd in the chat. It must be because they know you're going to be on.
It's all Doc Murdoc.
Doc Murdoc. But let me just say hello to a few of them. And,
Bob Casey,
Matt Cundiff, how you doing? And Bob Casey, Mark Fisher, Brian B-Mac, how you doing? And
yes, the number while Ray's reading off, yeah.
And who else? Michael Wright. There's Michael Wright. You, Asgard, all the way up in Canada. Michael McReynolds, how you doing? And Marcus, obviously, you put up his comment. How you doing, Marcus? Pilot Sharks Hanger, how you doing? And I'll get to a few more names shortly.
Isn't it so awesome to see folks in the stream? I'll tell you, when I'm doing a live stream, I'll get a little nervous before I start. And then as soon as I start seeing the comments and seeing people that I know, I feel like so much more relaxed. It's like you got all your friends there with you, Yeah,
and I know I find myself when I get Wednesday afternoon, it's like, I'm trying to make my banners and doing stuff. And then it's like, man, I get kind of like, do I really want to do this? And then it's like, I kind of get excited at the last minute. So it's fun. And you know what, Kelly, this show just started one Sunday morning. CaptainRay and I was talking, and, I basically said, hey, I just fly for fun. And, he said the same thing. He said, well, that'd be a great little name for a show. So we started. Yeah. This is our 20th show. We did it on Sunday afternoons, but it's fun.
Should I take the glasses off? What do you think?
Nobody's guessed the number yet. I will say, guys, I'll give you a hint. It's under 15. One of the numbers, the first number we picked is under 15. So, well, I tell you what, we got sticker. We got your buddy hanging out here in the back room, and I think I see him gaining weight back here in the back. So
is he eating some etouffee as well?
Look, he got him.
I tell you what, my training ran long tonight, and I got here at the house at about 8 till.
Nice.
How you doing, Chris?
Hey, Ray.
Chris.
Wait a minute. Here we go. There you go.
There you go.
Yes.
So that makes you feel a little bit better. The only problem is I can't see the monitor now. These are readers.
Right. Everything gets blurry far away.
Oh yeah, this is for like right here for me. So
yeah.
So, but yeah, with monitor is about 3 feet away from me, so I gotta not use them.
Man, we were missing you. Let's see, on Sunday afternoon, I met up with Harley and
man, I would have loved to have been there with Harley. God,
it was fun.
In.
He's a great guy, and I'll tell you, he's enthusiastic about everything. Like everything we were doing, he was like, "Oh yes, let's do that. Let's do that."
I cannot believe how deep he dove in.
yeah, and he's got a Baby Hawk HD, which he was having trouble with, and it turned out he had. You'll love this. He had two. And I figured this out. Like, I'm no expert at beta flight, but I figured this out. I was pretty proud. Harley had two functions mapped to the same switch. So he had turtle mode and his rates mapped to the same switch. So he was switching his rates and turning on turtle mode at the same time. And
Kelly, is he new to FPV? Is that or?
I think it's the first quad that he's set up, like completely a digital one like that. And he had set it all up, I think, but I know that was the one thing. And so once we changed the switch for his turtle mode, it worked great.
Well, Harley started not too long before Spin Down this last year.
That's right. Because he brought his Tiny Hawk out to Spin Down in Colorado.
That's right. And everything he does, he fits in that Harley.
I know. He's got it all in those saddlebags in the back, man. That's awesome.
I actually rode my
told
Harley to that. Yeah, I rode my Harley to a drone shoot. We did that little Grand Canyon 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday. That was fun. So, Doc, how you been? It's a pleasure having you on again. And
busy. Yeah, I've been doing all my training for my certifications for work. So, and sometimes they run long. So that's what happened tonight. But I have been up to things. So, yes.
How's your bush plane coming?
Actually, because the weather's finally warmed up, I can now get back to the hangar and get the hangar prepped so I can get my workbenches in there. So that's what I'm waiting for. Yeah, just the weather's been so cold because I need to pour some concrete on the floor in there, and I couldn't pour the concrete with it being freezing out here. It just takes forever for the concrete to cure. So, but I have been busy though. I've been tinkering. I've been.
Well, you're gonna have to share some photos.
I've been stripping stuff. So this is an old Me 4K.
Yeah,
that I got as a second frame from a gentleman that I bought the case and a couple batteries and things from. He told me, I have the drone I crashed. I go, really? How much? So I bought it, and it's just spare parts.
So you using it as spare, yeah.
Right. So what I'm doing with it though, because the Me 4K will stay in the air in a hover, not moving around too much, easily out to about 25 minutes. Okay.
Wow.
So I got to thinking, it's like, well, I've got lots of spare props, and I've got the 4 batteries, but the batteries, because it's got a smart board in it, it won't let me fly the drone anymore. It'll let it take off 100% charged, get up in the air, flies for about 10 seconds, and then gives me an immediate landing because it reads that one of the cells is just barely below what it allows, and it just shuts the whole drone down.
That's using the stock batteries that came with the Me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And there's no way getting around it. I looked and looked and looked and tried to figure out how to fix that, and there is no fixing it.
And if anybody could get around it, it'd be you, Doc.
Yeah. Well, it would take a whole lot more programming knowledge than I have to be able to reflash that board to fix the problem. So I still have the good copter. I bought a grip. I don't know if I got it. Yeah, I do. I took the gimbal off and I bought the grip for it. Okay. So now I've got a very good 4K, gimbal that I can use. I just got to get the part to mount the phone on the side so I can control it and see what I'm doing.
So that camera comes off the drone and goes on to the grip,
yes.
kind of like the Karma was supposed to do, the GoPro thing, right?
That's exactly what that does. Let's see if I can get this little cover off here. Come on there. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it's a good little camera, actually.
This is an amazing camera, and it records directly to the SD card right here, so it doesn't require anything in the drone to operate the camera. All it needs is control from the base. So that's what the grip does. So I've got a grip for it. So now I just got to get the little phone holder or make one that I can put my iPhone up here to use it. So got that going. And then I got to thinking, well, you know what? I got this beast, right? This is my favorite. This is my favorite right now.
That's your favorite, right?
Thing is a flippin' screamer. I can't believe how fast.
That's the one that goes 99.9 miles an hour.
Yeah, pretty much. And so I got thinking about that because I want a long range one. So I'm thinking, well, I got that Me, the old one. The motors are 2212s, and they got the ESCs. Now I'm not going to use these ESCs, but I got that. It even had the GPS module in it, and it's got all the wires are all labeled for what they do and where I can plug them in at. So I've got a good GPS module, and then if I can figure out how to make the optical flow sensor work, to it, I'll mount that. So I'm thinking, well, the Me flies with a 5100 milliamp 4S battery, and we'll do 25 minutes. Okay,
wow. That's a long flight.
So I've got lithium-ion batteries, and I've got a 4S 2P 6 amp hour lithium-ion pack. So I can build an FPV drone with that pack, with these motors, the Me 4K props. It's not going to be aerobatic, but I can put it out there and setting it up. I also have the, let's see here. I got to remember who makes it. This is the Easy UHF transmitter module. So this is the control link, which is at 433 megahertz. It's not at 900. It's at half that frequency.
Doc, do you have a key to your Best Buy? Do you have a key to your local Best Buy?
No, the nearest Best Buy is like 2+ hours away.
Is that right? Wow.
That's the closest one.
Hey guys, if you hold up a second, I
Yeah.
know I don't know if you've been noticing in the chat that somebody Matt Conduff saying something about me releasing something and all. So I just want to say this is what I did today.
Make it full screen, Johnny. Make it full screen.
Well,
that's an earnings.
Oh, nice. So it's a pass fail.
You passed, Johnny.
Yeah. I see big pass, 83%.
Yoo-hoo!
Nice.
Congratulations.
Yay!
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I'll tell you what. I started studying a few weeks ago, and of course I did take the Remote Pilot 101, and man, look, I got sectional charts, I got other books, I got the 120-page printout, and I will say I have to thank Doc. I called Doc a couple times, and I called Doc specifically on one question. I will say that question that I called him about was on the darn test. So
it turned up on
I just got through taking it about. I went in at 10 and. I was a little nervous, but you know what? The guy at the testing center was really nice. Had a guy taking his pilot thing. So, we sat in there together. And of course, he finished whatever he was taking in about 30 minutes. I only had about 22 minutes because I read the questions like 40 times. And what I did is mark what I knew was right. And then I had a few in question. But I will say it was a little, I guess 70 is the same as 99 or 100, but it was a little harder than I thought, and it had 3 questions on remote ID, which I was very surprised about. Which
because that's really current.
And it had a lot about center of gravity, and I was stressing out over weather because Doc, the stable and unstable air is very confusing. Poor visibility, and it's like I didn't have one question on unstable and stable air, so.
That's great.
But
what was the question? What was the question you asked Doc about that was on the test?
The big numbers on the sectional chart. And that question is only about your highest elevation.
Yeah, I pulled up one of my sectionals for my area, and it's out in the middle of the desert, right? There's almost no mountains out there, but yet it had a max altitude of 15,200 feet in the square.
Yeah, it's 15 with a little 2, and you don't know. I don't remember Jason and maybe remote pilot 101 maybe did, but I'm gonna go back because and that question was absolutely on.
And what he didn't realize, because he's looking at the chart as I was showing him it, and it's like, well, everything's only at about 4,000, 5,000 feet in the area, and I says, except for that one little blue circle, and he goes, "What's that blue circle?" And I go, "That is a tethered balloon." That is government. And they scroll it up to 15,000 feet sometimes when the weather conditions are conducive for that. And the 15,200, the 15,000 is the max height that the object can be, and you must clear it by 200 feet.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to not know it was there, right? I mean, especially if you were in a manned aircraft.
All of a sudden, you're not going to miss that one because it's got a big blue circle around that spot, and it's totally restricted.
But Kelly, we were talking before the show, and I think so much has changed. And listen, I had no intention probably of a year ago getting my Part 107, and I don't say I didn't have any intention, but it wasn't a goal of mine, I guess. And I haven't taken a test in 26 years, been a real estate agent. So it was a little nerve wracking, I guess. And man, a guy was like, because you hit that last button and then you got to go in there where he prints it. Like, you don't know if you pass or fail.
Yeah, and he's giving you the look, looking you up and down. You.
That's
you.
Really is good, Johnny.
But you know what? Knowledge is power, and I'll tell you what, it's great to know some of the stuff on there is, I guess, overkill to fly a drone, but it's not bad to know that. And just because I don't think it's, I don't need to know why plane. I think that was another question about. I think Doc, I told you about the center of gravity being in the rear. Does it take long to take off? Does it cause stalls? And
you can now change the name of this show to "Fly for Fun and Money."
Yeah, right. There you go. That would work.
I'm just glad. I'm glad I got a pass. It was fun. So Kelly,
you haven't got your card yet, have you?
No, I just did my filled up my paperwork a little while ago and signed it electronically, and so
the card is flipping cool. I mean, that is something I don't know where mine is, but that is something that I do, but it's not.
Well, we're going to put this second question up while we're talking about.
Well, Kelly, now come on now. You're supposed to carry it with you. That's the regulation, right?
When you're flying, yeah. When
Always
you're
got to
flying.
have it.
Yeah.
Always got to have it.
It is just outside this door and to the left. I do, and I will tell you, you don't want to lose that card because I think they are hard to get a replacement if you do lose it.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No, because I had my original pilot's license, and it's in my wallet all the time. And the end of it was getting pretty bad and getting unreadable. So I got online and logged in, says, what do you want to do? And I said, I need a replacement.
Matt.
And they said, for what reason? And I said, card is becoming unreadable and is damaged. And it was like, I want to say it's like $5 or something like that.
No.
And I paid the $5. And about 3 weeks later, I got a brand new license.
I did my thing online today, and it says within, it says, I think 4 to 6 days, you'll be able to print a temporary card on the site, and then, your card will follow.
Right.
Well, and Johnny, the ladies love that card. You what you do is when you're paying the bill at the bar, you kind of let it slip out of your wallet onto the table. Oh, did that fall down there?
And
Just my pilot's license.
Yeah, and you could always exaggerate, saying like, hey, not only can I fly jets and Doc and all that too.
Space shuttle,
Yeah.
Sputnik, Soyuz.
Sputnik.
Johnny, I think Matt got that last correct answer. I think he got it first.
But hey, Kelly, a question I have, and of course, Doc, I know I'll say you more than FPV. Of course, I know you got the Evo 2 for your wife, I believe, right?
Yes.
But
nice
Kelly, do you think we're trending toward smaller and under 250, everything under 250, or does it seem that way, or is that? I mean, if you register your drone anyway, it's not a big deal. But here in the United States, but I know other parts of the country, it is.
I would say this. It's funny because for a while, cell phones you think about cell phones. They were big, bulky things, the old ones with the big batteries, and they got smaller, and then flip phones, and then they got smaller for a while, and then they started getting big. Now they got these big phablets. It's like a tablet / phone combination. You know what I mean? Those really the XL and the Maxes and all that stuff. So I think that as technology allows it, I mean, if you think about the camera that is in the 2S. It is amazing for a drone that size. It is. I will say that up until that point, I think the Evo had the best camera by far. I think now, DJI was saying, okay, you guys shot across the bow. Here's a return fire with the 2S, and now Evo's got to do something. It's this back and forth, and that's what's great about the competition. But in answer to your question, I do think we're going to go smaller, but I think there's still going to be people that I mean, Doc just told you his favorite drone to fly is not a tiny FPV. It's not a little Park Explorer or a tiny Whoop. And this one right here, this thing, I don't get to fly it as often because it requires a lot of space. And so I have to intentionally go out. But if I just want to go out and run around in the backyard with a tiny Whoop, with a Tiny Hawk or something like that, I'll go do that in my backyard.
Right.
So, I think those small ones have a really great place and are fun because they're safer, they're quieter, they're getting to where, and some of these drones too. Hold on, I got to show you guys what I did.
Think about it. They're doing these tiny Whoop races inside of these little bit larger bar areas where the owners of the places are saying, "Let's go have at it."
Can you see my lens? Can you see the lens?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Nice cracked.
Basically, I ran into the Red Devils. If you watch Chris's channel, I ran into one of the Red Devils pretty hard.
Swatted, huh?
But this guy right here, this is a long range, and this thing is super quiet. I mean, you can fly this thing pretty easily without annoying people. Whereas other ones are just louder. And so I do like smaller and quieter, but every once in a while you just want to get out and rip it and hear that noise. It's like riding the Harley, versus an electric motorcycle. An electric motorcycle or a electric car is great. It's quiet, but if you want to really have that rumble, you need one of these bad boys right here.
Yeah, that's why I have my Stingy. My Stingy's on 5S, and boy, when you pour the coals to that thing, it's
it sounds No, I love just sitting there listening to Doc fly because it's like, it's like an air show.
Yep. But by that same token, I also go the other way. That's why I took all this apart, because I'm going to build a 10-inch long range.
Yeah, and the long ranges are lightweight. They're designed. They're not designed to go crazy with, but you get that range and you get that really.
And they're quiet.
Yeah, yeah.
Surprisingly, these 10-inch ones, when you don't have them too heavy, you have to actually run a little lower pitch prop to get the RPM up high enough so that the PID loop, and the flight controller will work correctly. But the sound of the props are so quiet. You get up there and get going more than 100 feet away, you can't even hear the things up there.
Yeah.
So that's what's nice about it too, because then you can go and cruise an area, get some great video, and still be able to return to home. And then I'm going to take it one step further, and all this particular one's all going to be iNav. So it's all going to have GPS control.
Yeah,
it's going to have everything.
Yeah, and a lot of these little guys are starting to throw a GPS unit on the back, just so you have that bailout if you need it.
Now, Doc, I know you're into a lot of the rules, and I know what about I know y'all doing those FPV. What about we're a little ways off, and I know with the subject, right at Christmas time, New Year, of course, remote ID. So where does that fit in with what y'all are doing there?
Okay, well, here's the thing with the regulations. They've got that provision that is coming. It's not out yet.
Right.
Okay. For beyond line of sight. Well, where beyond line of sight is really going to come into play, in my opinion, is people that are doing work, that are out there doing power line inspections, pipeline inspections, large pieces of property that they're having to survey. That there's just no way you can, do it without right now without going to multiple spots, to get the entire thing in a single flight. So that's where the new regulations are going to come into play for the beyond line of sight. For mine, it's more, I know I can't get out there, too far, but the bigger it is, the easier it is to see at distance. So that's a key point. And we're legal to 55 pounds, guys. Why not?
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that's the whole point. Well,
look at the
not?
DJI FPV. It is not a tiny little waif of a drone. It is a bruiser. It's heavy, and that's
very heavy for its size.
It's sort of it's got a lot crammed into it, but they're taking advantage of the fact that not everything has to be this tiny whisper light kind of thing. But that comes down to, again, at least where you live, Doc, in New Mexico, you probably have. Well, you've told me that you have to go out a little ways, but there's lots of land out there to fly over. There are spaces you can fly where there's nothing going on. If you live in a congested city and an area, I have to really, really be intentional if I want to fly one of the bigger, even the DJI FPV. If I want to fly that thing, I've got to go to, if I go to my kid's school where you see a lot of videos, I want to make sure there's nobody out there. Like, I'm not going to fly it over, a family playing kickball or something like that. Just doesn't make sense. But this little guy, I'll fly this over a family playing kickball all day because it's quiet and it's not going to hurt anybody.
Yep. Yeah, it's very light. So
Kelly, Kelly, what do you think? And Doc, the biggest trend, not trend, but the biggest progressive thing we'll have in drone, will it be batteries? Will that be a big change in batteries, or we are right
that's
now?
The next step. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot more people are starting to use lithium ion versus the lipos, the lithium polymer. And Doc can speak to this more than I can, but I know if you want to get longer range and more flight time, you get more juice packed into those Li-ion batteries. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, and the key to it is amp draw. So when you have high amp draw, the lithium ion batteries are not good. I mean, they've got some that'll do it, but not as good as a lithium polymer. But if you've got a long range cruiser, that's why that one single cell one that's using a single 18650 cell, and it's like 2.5 inch props, does so well.
18 amp hours?
No, it's an 18650 cell.
Okay.
It's only a 3 amp hour battery, but the thing will fly for like 20 minutes on a single battery. Single cell. Okay. Yeah. So that's what you got to take into account. If your amp draw is real low, then the lithium ion batteries are the way to go right now.
But you're not doing punch outs with that thing. You're not.
That's correct. Yeah. You are taking this out and doing a purposeful flight, where you're flying to something, around something, and cruising and getting the shot you want and then flying back. And it can be at distance because a lithium ion battery carries more milliamp hours than the equivalent lithium polymer.
What would be cool would be a fixed wing component that goes on the quad that allows it to have just that little bit of extra lift. I mean, you know, the reason that these don't get the flight time that's advertised is because everybody thinks it's a hover test, that you're just going to hover it and it should give 25 minutes. No, the flight time, just like fuel efficiency on a car, is measured with the drone moving slightly forward because it's giving some lift when it's moving forward. Right. There's aerodynamics.
That's great.
So imagine if you could get like a little clip-on that had a little delta wing that went on this thing, and so then as you're flying, you could do that forward motion and turn it almost into a fixed wing kind of situation.
Well, there have been a few companies that have tried that, and what they've run into is the PID controller, you know, in the flight controller. It just doesn't know. They can't.
Yeah,
get
it's like wait a minute, this doesn't feel right.
That's right, and then you get the inconsistencies of control feel and all that, and it goes crazy.
Do any of you have the new Femi Mini, or do you have the Zeno Mini ordered, Kelly? I know, Doc, you probably.
I'm waiting for the Autel Mini.
Autel.
Yeah, yep. I do not. I kind of fell out of. I guess it was who made the Faith drone?
Seafly.
Seafly. Yeah, I said some really bad things about that drone and got in some trouble with them. They don't like me anymore.
Well, this is not a Seafly, but I know. I actually ordered that drone, but I did cancel through AliExpress. So thank God, because it looks like a. I mean,
the Femis are good though. I know those are pretty good little drones. My problem right now, honestly, is there are a lot of good ones out there, and not enough time to make videos about all of them. You know, it's getting to the point now where so many people are making high quality drones that if you don't just kind of go deep on one, I feel like you're not doing the community as much of a service, because people want to know things they don't already know. I mean, everybody knows the basics of these things. Yeah. So how do you figure out something? Well, you got to fly it a lot.
And I think you're right, Kelly, because a lot of reviewers, they'll only, I mean, the big time reviewers, they'll only fly that one time and never do an update.
Yeah, and that's something I've done that. I've done that many times, but I'm trying to get away from that. And mostly that was with the more kind of $200, $300 toy grade drones that I would do that with. Yeah. You know, I thought, it looked cool. I want to give it a shot. It might surprise me. And there have been a few that do surprise you, that you're like, wow, that's actually a pretty good little drone.
Well, the Hubson one, the smaller Hubson one you did? I forget which one it was. The five something.
Really the SEMA? You mean the SEMA?
No, it was one of the Hubson ones.
Okay. Yeah. And I can't even remember at this point. Yeah. And then what I usually do with them is do a giveaway. You know, it's like give them away. So that's always nice to have a free object that you can review. You can make a video about it, hopefully get some views. I mean, from a YouTuber's point of view, get some views on it, maybe make a little affiliate money if it's a good drone and people buy it, and then be able to actually give it away to somebody during a live stream. That's kind of a nice cycle. It just takes a lot of time.
Yeah, because if you give those, even a cheap, the Zeno and a Zeno 2 in the Femi SE, if you give it a chance to get some firmware updates, it probably will improve. But
no, I again, every so often I'm just totally surprised. Oh, hold on, I'll show you guys something pretty cool.
Yeah, Matt Cundiff and Michael Blade says it's the 501 SS was the one I was thinking of.
I don't remember that one. That's probably
as the bird.
The bird.
I don't know if you remember a little while back, I did a video about a bird, like a little RC bird.
Yeah.
This is the big brother. It's about twice as big and it's shaped like an eagle. So this is in my queue. I haven't even flown it yet, but it's in my queue to do. I loved that little bird. I don't know if you ever saw that video, but
I did.
It was a little remote control bird. That thing was talk about surprising. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I expected it to be terrible. It had a little infrared sensor on the front, so if it was going straight towards something, it would veer off, and like obstacle avoidance. And then it had this.
Go figure.
Yeah. It was seriously amazing.
Kelly, have you seen the specs for that new Zeno Mini?
I have not. No.
I mean, I'll tell you what.
Has anybody got that yet, Johnny?
No, that's not coming out till I think it said June the 12th or June the 15th for the Zeno. Now the Femi,
Femi's already out.
Is somewhere on a truck right now. But I know Marcus had his and Ron Brown had his. They're getting in people's hand the Femi Mini.
The Zeno is supposed to compete with the Mavic Mini. or the DJI
Mini
Mini?
All of them,
2,
yeah.
the Mini 2. Actually, I mean, it's got obstacle avoidance. It's got a built-in memory, 64 or 128. No, of course we don't know because we haven't seen it.
But because most of the time with DJI, it's like 16 or 8. It's not a whole lot, of memory.
So this is, now that, not only did they went way over the specs. Now, we'll see when it, ships. How, it looks good on paper. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I think all of us had this. I think all of us had the same feeling about that when we seen the specs. If they hit 75% of what they claim, that'll be an amazing, great flying little machine.
Yeah, and I mean, you say if they put it, an advertisement, it ought to be there. But that I don't say, I don't think it means anything. But I think it's going to be okay.
You got the number. Congratulations.
Oh, nice.
Stickers coming your way.
Who was that, Ray? Who was that? I missed it.
Hanger. Yeah.
Okay.
Generally, my big issue with FEMI and Hubsan sometimes, not always, but all of these companies that are at that sort of in between the cheap toys and the sort of prosumer DJI level drones, the ones that go in there, I feel like they try to put too many features in their drones sometimes. Like it's like this app that does follow me and it does circles and it does, and it doesn't do any one of them very well. I'd honestly rather have a drone that does a couple of things really well than trying to cram all those features in it. And then the second thing is the connection on those is usually enhanced Wi-Fi, and you just don't get a good range out of them. I'm not trying to fly it miles off, but even across the field, I'll start to lose a signal on those.
Yeah, because if you look at the Parrot and Nafi today, I mean, it's neck and neck, even with probably the Air 2 or the in the camera wise, but the transmission signal is definitely
Yeah,
that drone was 3 years old.
Yeah, the biggest thing on the control link is just having decent antennas, for crying out loud. They stick those things inside the controller and bury it, and then they turn it sideways, and then the one on the copter is vertical, and it's like, you just double whammy, and it doesn't work
that's
good.
Doc's answer to everything is better antennas.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He just likes building antennas.
Hey man, I got a flat tire. Well, you need better antennas. Hey, I ran out of gas. You need better antennas.
New ones right there, man. Those are going out.
My head hurts. You need better antennas.
Doc, can you give me something to bypass direct TV? You need to build me something,
Yeah.
Oh, I could build you an antenna that you could pull everything in. It just take up more landscape than you have available.
When I was in, I guess it was Arizona or Colorado. I don't remember which, but I went to both places this past year, and there were a couple of cell towers that were had tree shape around them. Have you guys seen this? It looks like the one in Arizona looked like a cactus, looked like a saguaro. Oh, they take a cell tower and then they put this kind of artificial tree around it, and so it looks like a pine tree or something.
Really?
Yeah, it's poor excuse for camouflage.
Well, it looks a lot better than an antenna, than just a traditional cell tower. Unless you're Doc.
I wonder how that's going to be on a section. What's it going to look like?
Yeah, exactly. You're like, is that a tree?
Yeah, actually, if it's the highest point in the area, they'll actually mark it.
Might be a redwood.
Yeah. Well, they got some tall ones out your way, Kelly.
I like flying towers. I did that South Carolina tower, the Sombrero Tower, and then this weekend the Coney Island parachute jump. I really find tower flying interesting.
And Ray, I've got your Sombrero Tower. I couldn't play it on the show as I intended, but I still have it queued up for the next time I'm able to play a video on my show. I am going to play the Sombrero Tower because I liked that thing. Was really cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
He was kind of sneaking around while he was doing that too. You watch him filming it. That's what was funny.
Yeah. Oh, where are those people?
Well, hey, Ray, you got some Ray.
It's flying FPV, of course. You guys zip around and go through buildings and windows and around trees.
Well, Captain, you can't let Kelly off the hook. You got to ask him a famous question.
Yeah, the famous question, Kelly. If you had one place to fly legally, anywhere in the world, what would it be?
Oh, well, I think you might know this, but my in-laws have a house in upstate New York, on the St. Lawrence River, and that's a beautiful place to fly. I really like flying. I mean, that I would say probably there, because
Really?
it's the town is really scenic. There's islands out on the water. The river's really wide. There's boats going by, like big freighters that you can chase. Really nice sunsets. So I'd say probably on a big river like the St. Lawrence.
All right, that's good. We haven't heard that before.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, you could visit CaptainRay while you're there.
Well, you're. I mean, that's about 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
Ray, that'd be
You're way upstate. I'm downstate.
Yeah,
No, everybody. You know, when people think of New York, everybody just thinks everything's close to New York City.
No.
New York's a pretty big state, actually. There's quite a bit, but no, that's a great area. And then, of course, I really like flying out in the desert. I've been out to West Texas a few times and flown in Lajitas and Terlingua, and it's really cool. You get that really cool rock formation, and if you go in the evening when the sun is setting, you get some really cool colors and all that stuff.
Yeah, and Mark Fisher is asking. I don't. Is he asking Kelly or Doc? I don't know. I put it up on the screen. I don't know. A drone
about his Polish drone.
Really interesting.
Interesting.
What I feel like there's a joke coming up here, but what's wrong with it? M Drone 1.
Maybe landed in the water. Doc, do you know anything about that?
No, huh?
Polish drone.
I've talked with him once before, but it wasn't about something specific on the drone, though.
Right. Mark.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll tell you, one of the hardest things about doing YouTube videos about drones is people think you know everything about every drone, and and I'll tell you, I mean, I get these questions from people that I have no idea even what they're talking about. You know, I'm like, sorry.
Yeah, but you know, you don't know everything, and it's great that people have a chance to ask guys like yourself. I consider you two experts in this field.
Yeah, and if I can answer, I always will. But it's usually just I feel like I'm letting people down if I don't know the answer. You know, it's kind of what. And then you can go into this deep hole of researching it and kind of finding out, or let me go dig that drone out of my garage and see.
But the other,
I'm gonna put the last question up, guys. It's an easy one.
Yep, it's an easy
Let's see
one.
here.
Sometimes even Kelly in the chat, there's so much knowledge that is shared in the chat.
Oh yeah.
People in the chat, you know, and we appreciate that. We really do.
And I think that's one thing about the drone community. You know, listen, I didn't know Doc. You know, I met him at the meetup, and you know, man, I had a question about that chart, and I've had questions about computer and stuff, and you know, everybody helps, and there are no stupid questions. You know,
No. The only stupid question is the one you don't ask.
right? Because I mean, you know, I sat
simple.
here, I looked at this map, man, and I was like, what the hell are these numbers? And I'll be damned if that question wasn't on there. So, you know,
Yeah, well, you should be
you know,
proud of
hey,
yourself for passing that test, because
Absolutely.
when I took mine, that was the first test I had taken in a while too, and I was like, you know, you get used to it when you're in school, I guess, but if you haven't taken a test in a long time, man, it's nerve-wracking.
Well, the last test I took was 1994 for my real estate test. So yeah, it was definitely. Now I will say, you know what, they did have 3 questions about remote ID. I think I said that. I was very surprised because that's very new. So you know, and that's something that I'm not sure Remote Pilot 101 if they talked a little bit about it, but it was 3. And I think the questions were, I feel like I got them all right, because, you know, I know one of them was like, when do you have to take a special class to have it on, or does it need to be on a drone at takeoff for the whole full time, you know? So I think that was the correct answer.
Well, Pilot Shark's got that correct answer on that last question. Congratulations.
So, and I think those questions are pulled from a pool of 200 and something they say. So, you know, the guy that maybe took the one next door to me, he might have got 10 weather questions. You know,
yeah, they're random, right? They're supposed to come up randomly, the questions based on that pool. Yeah,
I know runways was a big, you know, like the direction of runway. Now they had a lot of METAR, which I was definitely kind of, but you know, if you take your time and read that METAR, you can, you know, you'll run across that answer. So you know, you can't imagine.
Yeah. I mean, it helps that it's multiple choice, right? It helps that you can look and see. Okay,
well, they always got one you can toss out immediately.
Yes, and then there often two questions that are both seem like they could be right. You know, it's
Right.
like, well, in this case, this one could be.
That's when you got to really read the question slowly.
Yeah.
Well, they had one was an obvious, you know, you can't fly, of course, under the influence, but it says, can the remote pilot in charge give somebody else that somebody else took a drink, you know, can the remote pilot give him, you know, so no, he can't, you know, so some of them are really easy. And then,
pretty much if there's alcohol or drugs involved.
I want to say hello to
no.
y'all fellow Texan is in
What's
the house.
up, Chris Hope?
Hey, Chris.
How you doing?
In the house.
Me and Chris been chatting a little bit back and forth about the weather. Y'all been getting the weather. Y'all been sending it this way because it's coming from. Of course, it don't get Doc. You never get bad weather where you're at.
Oh no, we get it. We just don't get it as bad. We are in a kind of a weird spot in the country where we don't get what the West Coast gets. We don't get what Kelly gets, but the two always seem to come together and just miss us north. So we're kind of in a little lull area where every once in a while it'll swing far enough south it'll hit us.
Well, the only lull we've been in is rain. I can tell you that. So, but you know, poor Lake Charles. I mean, they got hit by 2 hurricanes. Keep them in your prayers, and they are flooding again. And you know why? I don't know. You know, we talk about it all the time in real estate. There's so much building. It's all concrete. Things just don't rain.
Yeah, no runoff.
You know, nothing rains like it used to. So, but guys, we try to keep it about an hour. But you know, I want to thank y'all so much, and
this went fast.
Kelly, it's been a privilege, and Doc, I always enjoy having you on, and we'll get you on again with the rules and stuff we want to as that draws up. I know there's a lot of stuff changing about the rules with the recurrent tests and all that, and so I know you're up to date on all that.
I'm trying to keep up with it. They keep changing the dates.
That's okay. But you're the man for that. So
I'm trying.
We'll go through. Doc, we'll let you. If you want to say your goodbyes, or
just say everybody in the chat. Thanks for being here. Could have been anywhere else,
but you're here.
But you're here. You know,
absolutely.
Thanks for being here.
I'm going to put that on my grave, Doc. When I'm dead, it's going to say you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. And thank you guys for having us on. Seriously, this went so fast. I was like,
didn't it,
it's been
Kelly?
an hour already. Dang.
We just try to keep it. You know, there's a show, Coast to Coast comes on after us, and of course, Lawrence and that was on before us. So there's a lot of, Wednesday night is kind of busy, but we kind of caught a little middle break here and do it. But no, Kelly, it's been a privilege and an honor to have you on.
Yeah, I just want to close out by telling everybody I am working on spin updates. Believe me, I've gone to visit venues. It's just I got to find that right place that's Goldilocks, right? It's not too hot, not too cold,
right?
Or just right. So I'm working on it. I will let everybody know ASAP. And again, thank you to everyone who joined in the chat tonight, and also just big shout out to Ray Kelly. Yep. Again, I'm in complete awe of your event. I am in awe of that because it has been the talk of the town. Everybody's been talking about that event pretty much for the last 2 or 3 months since it happened. And so way to go on that, way to put that together and make it happen and do it on, you told me it was a no budget really. You just made it happen. So that's
Kelly,
that's awesome.
He kind of did the same thing you did with Spin Up the first year. It just happened and it took off.
Yeah. No, I think you guys said this before Doc joined, but I think there is a lot of people. There's pent up demand for people to want to get together, and so I think this is going to be a great year for that. So I love the fact, Chris, that you have your badge, your spin up badge, right behiend you there on the wall. So that's awesome.
It's right there. Yep. So you got Spin Down sitting right there.
Hey, thank you both. Thank you both for coming on the show tonight. It really means a lot to Johnny and I. And everybody in the chat, thank you for, tuning in. Wednesday night, you could be doing better things. There's no time.
Nah, this is the best.
You learned a little something. You got to know these two gentlemen a little better. And that's what it's all about, trying to have a good time, fly for fun, as Johnny say. And
I can fly for money now, Ray. I can
That's
fly
right.
for money.
It's fly for fun and money. Yes.
But thank you, and get out there and fly safe.
Yes, thank y'all. Support all the shows. Check your subs. Sometimes YouTube will kick you off. So support all the channels. Monday night. I'll go through a little bit. We got Drone Nation. Who else? We got Build a Drone Reviewer on Tuesday. Wednesday, you got Phantom Flight 101. Thursday, you got Ken Herron. Friday night, you have Sergio and Michael and myself. And I think Doc's gonna be on Friday with us, right?
On Friday? Maybe. It depends on my
Okay,
schedule.
I thought you were. All right. Then
I'm
you got
gonna try.
speakers on Sunday afternoon. Kelly, and when is yours, Kelly?
I usually do it on Fridays.
Fridays.
First Friday.
Yeah,
of the
you
month.
do it. Yeah, so Michael and them go on a little later. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
no,
know.
totally. It's really cool. There have been nights when I'm not on a show or anything, but I just go from show to show watching, and it's fun to see. Like, hey, I just saw you in the last chat. You know, cool to see those people jump.
Well,
around.
we always, I know we go, you know, from on a Tuesday, you know, and then you go to Philly and Ron there, but yeah, it's fun. You know, YouTube is, I think it's brought, you know, Kelly, you talk about it. You know, it's you made so many friends and met so many people, and of course through Spin Up. I mean, and you know, CaptainRay, yeah, that event was, I mean, it was phenomenal. You know, I don't really know. I often said it. I don't know how many people wives listen, but the only thing could have made it better was a few strippers. But you know, that's just.
Oh, I tell you what, you don't want to do that. Big Boss Mimi listens. Trust me.
Don't forget,
Guy knows.
I didn't say strippers. I didn't say strippers.
He meant like for wires, you know, if
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
resolder something,
Wire
you gotta
strippers,
pull
yeah.
pull,
Put your drone, to put your
yeah,
drone.
you
Hear that, Mama? Yeah, it was wire strippers.
Wire strippers, yeah, to
Yeah.
put your drone to make antennas.
right, because that's the answer to everything.
Next
That's
year,
right.
April 2nd, 2022, in Jensen Beach, Florida.
There
We'll
we
do
go.
it again.
All right, thank you guys. Have a good night.
All right, adios, fellas.